What's up, you guys? This is JYoungGo2 back with another video, and in this video today we're going to be discussing the Boston Celtics. And well, at the beginning of the year and really, recently, the Celtics, nobody really expected them to really win anymore. It seemed like their point was over. I mean, it was getting to the point where we thought that Jaylen Brown was possibly going to get traded, or even Jason Tatum, for crying out loud. But the Celtics have definitely been able to really turn it around and really step into a better direction now. With a record of 42-28, the Celtics are currently the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, a big jump compared to where they were in the beginning of the year. But as we all know, the reason for the Celtics, success, a lot of it has to do first off with their defense. But let's be real, their defense has actually been pretty good all season long, but they have overtaken the Warriors as the best defensive team in the entire NBA. And speaking on that, they really came out last night and made a statement against the Golden State Warriors, winning 110-88, holding the Warriors, out of all teams, a team that is considered one of the best teams in the NBA, a team that is a championship level team with DNA and all. They held them to only 88 points in a very good win. Yes, Steph Curry went out with injury, but overall, that's still really impressive to do. And a big part as well, of course, for the Celtics' new transition is how they've now found their offensive identity. Before the beginning of the year, they struggled on the offensive end. It seemed like at times they would just become stagnant on the offensive end. Not only that, but they are really well known for isolation plays. It seemed like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum would simply just take turns dictating the offense, but now it is a lot more ball moving. Marcus Smart has definitely become an even better playmaker for the Celtics and really getting everyone involved. And even Brown and Tatum both have definitely been making better plays on the offensive end, getting teammates great opportunities. And look, also Jason Tatum, he's been on a really scoring tangent right now. Over the last 20 games, he's been averaging over 28 points. He's shooting very efficiently from the field. He's shooting 47% from the field and over 38% from three. And that has to do a lot now with the newfound success of the Celtics. Look at bench players like acquiring Derek White, of course. Derek White is really a player that what they needed. They needed a guy who can pretty much do a little bit of everything. Despite the fact that he has struggled, a bit from the three-point line this season, on the Celtics shooting around, I believe, 26% or something like that, he's still been able to make smart plays, make good plays in transition, and as well, make good shots off mismatches, which he's done for this Celtics team in general. Grant Williams as well too, he's definitely been a huge contributor for the Celtics. This guy has been able to really just lock in, especially when it comes to his corner three-point shooting. I believe he shoots around 50% on corner three-pointers this season, which is a very efficient number. And like I said earlier, the Celtics have definitely improved drastically on the defensive end of the basketball court. And looking at Jason Tatum, he's actually the best wing defender this season in the NBA with a defensive rating of 104.8 this season. And Jason Tatum has definitely shown that he can be not only just an amazing offensive player, which the numbers and the stats show, but on the defensive end as well, he's definitely drastically improved for the Celtics team. As a matter of fact, everyone really on the Celtics team has drastically improved. Looking at Jaylen Brown, he's playing like a legitimate second option. He's playing exactly like how they need him to, and he's also playing extremely well on the defensive end of the basketball court as well. And both those guys have really been able to focus on scoring, especially now since Marcus Smart has definitely played a really big role in being an even better playmaker now for the Celtics, really facilitating the offense and getting everyone involved and great looks. And well, another really good player, him and actually Robert Williams, should definitely both be in the race for possibly winning Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, Robert Williams, really, he looks like a guy who's even better really on the defensive end than Marcus Smart. But Marcus Smart has already made 2 first-team All-NBA teams, so he's already shown and established himself as a really great defender, and he's doing that once again this season for the Celtics. And really, when you look at the lineup of Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, and Robert Williams, this is one of the most balanced starting lineups in the entire NBA. And not only that, but they have shown the ability to basically lock down on both ends of the basketball court. As a matter of fact, speaking on the defensive end as well, again for the Celtics, ever really since the trade deadline, they're only allowing teams to score 90.9 points per 100 possessions. You know how insanely good that is. And and I just said earlier too that they held the Warriors to only 88 points in the game. Just speaks for itself. And they also have a net rating of plus 26.1. The Celtics have really, when you look at their starting lineup as well, it's really a no-brainer. I mean, they all are pretty big in their size. There's nobody that's really small on the court, and everybody has skill. You combine skill, playmaking, rim protecting, perimeter defending, switching, literally everything you can imagine that the Celtics have in simply this one starting lineup. And even bigs like Al Horford, who can actually stretch the floor still. So I mean, looking at the Celtics and what all they've been able to do, the key of it all to, you know, from them struggling to where they are now, is when they were able to acquire Derek White, like I said earlier, who's definitely been the missing piece to the Celtics' success. Because when they had Dennis Schroeder on the team, for crying out loud, they were not literally as good of a team as they were compared to how they are now. And Daniel Theis, who's as well, is another really good player who adds another defensive spark for the Celtics, who's definitely been a big contributor as well. Really big shout out to Ime Udoka, who's really turned around a lot of stuff for the Celtics now, and he really helped the players buy into really what they're trying to do. And to be honest as well, for the Celtics, they have in a way got a little lucky because they have played against pretty easier teams, but they have played against some pretty tough teams and take some big dubs as well. But they have lost to some pretty good teams during this stretch as well too. But overall, you know, you have two guys in Brown and Tatum who aren't even at the age of 26 yet, not even in their primes, as two of some of the best younger duos in the entire NBA. And you have both those guys on their team, and they're still growing and getting better as players. And looking at the Celtics, they definitely just made a whole 180 turnaround, and now they have a chance to really make some big noise in the playoffs possibly. They're still getting better as we speak. And well, when you combine a team now that is growing in the offensive category as well as being the best defensive team in the NBA, there's not really much teams that can beat that. When you have a great defense and your offense as well is really ascending, because, well, history shows, especially during these last decade, that a team really needs to have, you know, an offensive rating that is, you know, top 10 in the NBA. And if you don't, you know, unless you're a team like the Detroit Pistons, who won back in 2004, then that's really your only shot. But for the Celtics, they definitely have definitely some right to say, hey, we are in that contending category now, as teams out in a very, very tough Eastern Conference from the start. But we will see what happens for the remaining of the season and how the Celtics transition into the playoffs. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos each and every single week. Have a great day. Peace.